Welcome, folks, to what is a continuation from our emergency account reviews. I thought it's kind of mean that we just do Android all the time, so with some difficulty, I've managed to open it up to iOS users as well. So we have 3 extra scuffed iOS accounts for you today, because I know how much you love looking at these messed up accounts, because you're all strangely into that kind of thing. I'm not going to complain. It's good fun. It's a good giggle. So let's get things started. So we're going to hop over to our first account, and this belongs to Unicorn Rider. Pretty cool name. He's level 98 and VIP 1. So they've made a singular purchase in this game. Fair enough, you know. I don't know what you bought, but I hope it was special. And let's go take a look at your heroes. So we're kicking things off with the same mistake we see on every single account, but this time it's an early account, so it's even more important. We have an E1 Garuda, an 8-star Valkyrie, 8-star Fiona, 8-star Gusta, an 8-star Lord Balrog, and an 8-star Sherlock. Now, okay, let's pretend that all these heroes are fodder heroes, because technically, if you're making an 8-star hero, it should be because you have another copy in bag. So let's first check the Forest faction for Valkyrie. We do not have a spare Valkyrie. In that case, that's a mistake. That means Valkyrie is stuck at 8-star until you get another copy. Painful. Let's check the Fortress faction. Do we have a second Fiona? Nope. Do we have a second Sherlock? Nope. Okay, so what you've done here is you've made a massive error, which is to push heroes when you don't have the copies to back it up, which is hugely detrimental, whether it's a fodder hero or it's a normal hero. Let's go and check Abyss. Do we have a spare Gusta? No, we don't, but we do have a spare Balrog, so that's nice. Now, the second thing we've done, which I need to make clear to you guys that you shouldn't do, is build 2 heroes in the same faction at the same time. Gusta and Balrog are competing for food. Sherlock and Fiona are competing for food. It's kinda scuffed. And then we just have this Bade here. Cool. But with all that said and done, what we haven't discussed yet is the fact that Fiona and Sherlock are heroes you don't want to use as food in the first place. So all this fortress fodder that you've used to build them could have been a 9-star hero, which could have E2'd your Garuda. It could have helped you get a 10-star for E3, E4, or E5. So basically, what you've gone and done here is massively halted your progress. And it's kind of sad. I hate when I see this because there's nothing we can really do to fix it, especially not with 9 stars. Let's take a look at your bag. What are we looking at? We have only 10 heroic summon scrolls. Oh no, and 4 prophet orbs. You've got to be a twitchy fingers, man. You've got to be. There's no way you only have this many of the resources. So again, please don't use your resources outside of events. Let's look at your artifacts. They're kind of cute. And your equipment? Fair enough. Now, how do I get to the shards? They've moved things around, and it's confusing me. Shards are below heroes now. Why? But it's fine. It's actually quite a nice user interface, I'll be fair. It's just going to take some getting used to. And we have no 5 stars in the bag at all, so this is definitely a twitchy-fingered account. Super twitchy-fingered, because it means you're not even saving hero copies for Heroic Miracle. So when Heroic Miracle comes along, you won't even have the heroes from the factions to do this. So my advice for you players at home is make sure that you have Forest, Shadow, Fortress, all the factions. Make sure you have 2 light and dark heroes that are 5-star in your bag, and 3 in every other faction, and you will be fine for Heroic Miracle. And Ripper Jockey, you said you used them all? I can see that, and you probably should be saving them. Because what you've done is you've used those 5 stars to not really make progress, because building the Fiona, building the Sherlock is kind of holding you back. The Valkyrie is holding you back because you don't have the 3rd copy to make her 9-star. It's just kind of slow and clunky. Also, we need to be focusing on building 10 stars, because 1 9-star will get your Garuda to E2, but then after that we need 10 stars for E3, E4, and E5. So your main priority right now should be getting 9 and 10-star heroes. And the Sherlock and the Fiona, I don't know what to say to you. I think we just leave them as they are, I guess, because I don't think you can undo them, because they're only 8-star, and I don't want to encourage you to commit more resources to them, and I don't want to tell you to feed them either. So I think we've just got to sit them with how they are, and then just accept the Fortress faction's a little scuffed right now, and use everything else as food to progress this Garuda. But please, guys, at home, do not do this. Do not build yourself, first of all, wide. Don't build multiple heroes in the same faction at the same time. And also only focus on one hero that you want to take to endgame at a time. Unfortunately, this Fiona and Sherlock are conflicting on so many levels, it's kind of painful. So, yeah. And the Balrog and the Gusta are both going to be competing for Abyss food, so you're really going to need to get yourself some Abyss resources to make some progress there. So it's going to be tough. And again, those Prophet Orbs, those scrolls, save them. Save them, save them, save them, save them, save them, because Prophet Orb event, Heroic Summons events, they're going to be important for your progress. So please, just don't go doing this. And you say he could have built Olivia, he should not have done. No, absolutely not. That's terrible advice, because the Olivia is not a hero you want to feed. Olivia is a good hero. You don't want to build Olivia early. What we want to do is absolutely focus every single little bit of resource into the Garuda. I don't want you to build anybody else, because Garuda is clearly your first E5. We've committed to making her E1, and that means we're stuck with her, so we're going to E2, E3, E4, E5. And you have copies of Garuda here. We have one for E2, we've got another for E4, so we just need one more Garuda copy, which you will definitely pick up in time. And I think you'll definitely get it before you have the 10-star food to progress. So getting yourself an E5 Garuda is going to be easy. You just need to not build wide. This next account belongs to Ikrissa, and it's level 122. It's free to play and solo only. Thank you for the 2-month subscribe. Let's go take a look. Let's have a look, see what heroes we're dealing with. Okay. Yeah, I've seen this before. Not this account specifically, but the classic. I know, guys, I'll make an E4, then I'll decide to just start building someone else. Totally great idea. You know when you go over here and you click the void, and it says, need an E5 hero to open it. It's not like a boss level, where once you've opened it, it's a whole new game and you miss out and all the things you've done to this point don't matter anymore. It's not like that. It's not a final boss. It's just content. So we want to get an E5 as soon as possible. And this Inosuke is E4. I don't understand. And we're probably missing a copy. Yeah, I'm sure we're missing a copy. That's fine, though. But we've just decided to... Oh, I know, I'm going to build an E2 Garuda. How can you manage to build an E2 Garuda and a 10-star Ithaca and a 10-star Bade in the time it takes you to get all the pieces for Inosuke? That baffles me. Like, it genuinely baffles me. Because, I'll be frank, the only way I could see this happening is if you absolutely narrow-mindedly were like, I'm building Inosuke and nobody else. And that's fine. You probably watched Barry's free-to-play season and were like, I'm going to build Inosuke, I have to build Inosuke, la-di-da-di-da. Which means you probably didn't watch my video where I talk about building your first E5 is a process that you can't necessarily brute force. It's something that you have to allow to happen organically, whoever you get copies of. And then you just hoard your chests, you hoard your copies, and eventually you're like, okay, that's the hero I'm going for. So, somehow that didn't happen on this account, and we've ended up with an E4 Inosuke and an E2 Garuda and a bunch of 10 stars. From a wider perspective, it's not that terrible, because once you feed the Bade to Inosuke, we'll have an E5 Inosuke, we'll be halfway towards our second E5, which will be Garuda, and we've also got Ithaca there, ready to be built. However, of course, the Ithaca could be any other shadow hero, which would have been food for Garuda, which would have been really nice, but unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm just really glad you didn't feed that Bade to Garuda to make her E3, because that would have been absolutely terrible. Another thing we need to talk about is this. You have an 8-star carry, but no other carry copies. So you've committed to a carry without having other copies. And I go look at your shards. Whoa. Okay. For a second I got scared, but I realized that it's because we filtered by dark. But either way, there's not a lot of heroes in here. There's no light and darks. There's no sign that we've got a Russell or a Carry. So Russell and Carry are in exactly the same situation where you've gone to build them, even though you don't have multiple copies of them. You've only had 2, which is terrible. It's awful. So basically, all your light and dark food is trapped inside Russell and Carry, which means if in the foreseeable future you end up with 5 copies of, let's say, the new light and dark hero, you won't be able to build them because you won't have food because Russell and Carry ate it all. Let's say in that time you don't get any more Russell copies, you don't get any more Carry copies, we are absolutely stuck. So I honestly don't know how to help you here, because do not use relics. That's one thing I want to take a look at. How are our relics? Oh, 54. I don't want to know who you spent relics on, but I'm pretty sure you did spend it on a Nosuke. I'm pretty convinced. So that's a little terrifying. Or even worse, Russell and Carry. That would be heartbreaking. Or maybe you just have never had enough relics. That's probably, hopefully, the case. But also, hang on a second. This account's level 122. How did you get to level 122 without building an E5? You know what? It happens. Fair enough. I'm not going to judge. But either way, let's just go and look at this Sherlock. That's trapped food as well. So we don't even have another copy of Sherlock. Okay, the message for today is stop building heroes to 8-star, ladies and gentlemen, when you do not have the copies for 9 or 10-star. That is especially true for Light and Dark. You need enough copies to get them to 10-star for it to be worth it. So you need 5 copies of a hero before you even dare start building them. And once you've got your first E5, that is especially true. Because really all you need is 9-star and 10-star food. So once you've got 3 copies of a hero, your brain needs to go, right, that's a 9-star. When you've got 5 copies of a hero, you think, right, that's a 10-star. And you only need to think about that when they're fodder heroes. If you start pulling copies of heroes like Ithaca or Tix or Fiona, you need to think, right, I'm locking this hero, I'm not touching them, they're for later. And once I have 9 copies of that hero, I'll then think about building them to E5. In the meantime, I'm going to build fodder and food, and we'll just see who we get 9 copies of. Thems be the rules. But unfortunately, that's not what's happened here. We've got ourselves a 10-star Ithaca, a 10-star Bade. The Bade's fine. The Bade you can use as food, but the Ithaca is trapped food. The Garuda is trapped food. And we just really aren't going to make much progress until you finally E5 this Inosuke. We then go and E5 the Garuda. Then we want to E5 the Ithaca. And I pray to the Lord above that you can get some Russell and Carry copies to fix that mistake there. Perhaps it'll all be okay. And oh, Akrissa did buy a Inosuke with relics. Of course he did. Absolutely brilliant. Please don't buy heroes with relics, guys. The only reason we do it on the free-to-play series is because we want to get an E5 as soon as possible, but generally it's a really suboptimal thing to do. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful for you, and it's probably taught you guys at home a little bit more about how to progress in the early game. And it's really fun to look at specifically early game accounts today, because last video we were looking at more established accounts that already had E5s, and it's good to see that we've got heroes here that aren't E5 and that we can start telling you about how to approach the early game. So let's go take a look at the next account and see if their early game progress is any better. Here's another account, and it's the final account for today. And it's the same level as the last one. 122. Huh. And it's VIP 3. Okay, so surely we're expecting an E5 hero here, right? Because the last account had an E4 and an E2 and 2 10-stars. So surely this account, surely it has an E5, right? Surely, guys. That's what we expect. No! We have an E4 Garuda, a 9-star Ithaca, an 8-star Eloise. Nope, that's not an Eloise, that's an Olivia. An 8-star Heartwatcher, an 8-star Tix, an 8-star Horus, a 9-star OD, a 7-star Bloodblade, a 6-star Faithblade, a 6-star Fiona, 9-star Destroyer, a 7-star Destroyer, a 6-star Ignis, and a 6-star Valentino, and a 6-star Deathspawn. Yikes, man! That is some wide-ass building. You're going all over the place. Shadow, we're committing to 4 different heroes at the same time, 2 of which are heroes you want for late game and end game. Fortress, you decided to 6-star a Fiona for some reason. Cool. Do not upgrade that Fiona anymore. Please, no. Right? OD is food. 1 more OD copy, and OD is going to eat this destroyer right here. That's going to make OD 10-star, and then you're going to get yourself this Garuda all the way up to E5. And we have the Garuda copies. So that better be happening. We better be unlocking the Void soon. But why have you got Olivia 8-star and Heartwatcher 8-star? They're both trying to eat the same food. It's the same thing. Stop doing this. Stop building 8 stars. We don't even have another Olivia copy. We don't even have another Heartwatcher copy. Abyss. Okay, well, we've just decided to build another destroyer, but at least we've got a copy of him. That's fine. Abyss looks okay. And Fortress, it's not that bad, actually. You probably had to build Fiona for an event or something, and if you didn't, well, just leave her at 6-star. Let's look at your food. Let's see what we've got. Where are the 5 stars? This is like a combination of the last 2 accounts combined! You've used all your 5 stars! It's like the first account and the second account had a child and it... What is this? We've got a 6-star dummy. That's at least okay, but you got it for free from the glory stuff, so I'm not even going to give you credit for that. Look at this nonsense. I don't even know. I don't even know how to, like, make it any clearer for you guys. 1 hero in every faction at a time. And that's when you're building them to 9 and 10-star. And then only 1 hero across all factions to E5 at a time. The one redeeming quality of this account is our light and dark isn't that scuffed. The closest thing to scuffed we've got is a 6-star Faithblade, and that's okay. That's fine. Dark, it's pretty empty, but that's cool. You haven't gone the silly and 6-star to DA. That's good. Don't build anyone in the light and dark faction. No, don't do it. It's a terrible idea. Just wait until we have 5 copies of someone good, whether it's Amon-Ra, whether it's Drake, whether it's Russell, whether it's Carrie, and then build them to 10-star. But geez Louise! If this is what you folks are up to, when I'm not looking, I'm never stopping. I am doing account reviews until the end of time. Until finally, there isn't a single scuffed account in existence. So please, this Shadow faction is just awful. 9-star, 8-star, 8-star, 7-star. Like, why did you start building ticks? I know you probably got 2 copies of them. But why was that even a clear sign of, you know what, guys, let's build an 8-star. No! Stop doing this! Stop 8-starring heroes because you can. It doesn't give you progress. It just means you waste the food in whatever faction they're in. In this case, it's Shadow. And it means you can't push them any further. Horus, I understand. You've got 2 other copies there, so Horus could be a 10-star. But seriously. Seriously. Stop. Stop doing this. Everyone. Please. I know it keeps me in business. I know it gives me content. But I would rather have no videos to make at the start of the month when I do this than have to look at accounts like this all day. So yeah, I don't know anymore, guys. It's just painful. If you have an account that looks this bad, join us at the start of every month. On the Tuesday, we'll do Android, and then some other day in the week, we'll do iOS. But geez Louise, if this is the kind of stuff you guys are hiding behind closed doors that you aren't bringing to the surface, then it needs to be brought to the surface. Because I'm all for you playing the game however you want, but if it genuinely looks like you're blindly fumbling around, not really having a clue what you're doing, I'm here to hold your hand and take you to where the grass is greener and help you get yourself something good. Because the Void, your first E5, that should be your main goal. I don't care if your first E5 is Lord Balrog, right? As long as we just get there with some expedience and you can start doing progress in the Void, I'm a happy streamer. So please, if you feel like you need help or you need aid, join us at twitch.tv/MKxJUMP. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'm here day in, day out. Usually doing this content now, it seems. And yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I've had so much fun. So much fun checking out these iOS accounts. Because they are really good. Subscribe. Please. Thanks. Happy idling!